Welcome to the US-Taiwan Biotechnology Business Summit. My name is Mterrycooke, Chief of the Commercial Section of the American Institute in Taiwan. The American Institute in Taiwan, or A.I.T, was created in 1979 by the U.S. Congress to represent the interests of U.S. citizens and U.S. businesses in Taiwan and functions virtually identically to U.S. embassies worldwide. The U.S. Biotechnology Business Summit was organized in order to bring together leading decision makers in biotechnology from the Taiwan and U.S. side, representing both public and private sector concerns, to try to identify those opportunities of greatest significance for potential collaboration between the U.S. and Taiwan, and to help align the emerging capabilities of Taiwan's industry with the well-established and globalizing presence of the U.S. biotechnology industry. To help lead our audience through the expert discussion which follows, I'd like to take a few minutes to pose and try to answer a few very basic questions. What are the broad opportunities right now for U.S. companies to partner effectively with Taiwan counterparts? How real are these opportunities given the fact that the U.S. industry is well established and Taiwan's industry just now emerging? And how will the US-Taiwan Biotechnology Summit help U.S. firms take advantage of these real opportunities? Finally, how, why, when, and where the summit was held. Opportunities for US-Taiwan business partnership in the global arena are largely driven by the dynamics of the biotechnology business themselves. There are four key ones to note. The first is the global nature of the business, whether it's a question of the genetic diversity or of population specificity of disease patterns worldwide. Biotech requires international collaboration. Second, biotech is a heavily regulated business. The differentiation of the business is increasingly making products, services, and tools available that may not specifically require regulatory approval, but all the drivers, whether in agricultural, pharmaceutical, or environmental applications of biotechnology, do require governmental regulatory approval before a product can hit the market and before any money can be made. Third is the high burn rate of the business. Biotech is exceeding even the information technology business as requiring huge sums of money to be amassed, to be invested into research and development capabilities. And finally is the rapid pace of technological change. This forces any player in the biotech market to be highly focused if they want to have any chance to succeed. Also, the information intensiveness of the business, which is driven by computing power of a microprocessor and the storage capacity of computers, has now unlocked the human genome and is leading to accelerating opportunity in the global biotech business. Each one of these basic facts about the global biotechnology business implies a broad area of opportunity for U.S. firms interested in partnering profitably in Taiwan. First, the global nature of the business means that access to international research capabilities and international genetic diversity in Taiwan, Greater China, and Asia Pacific is important. Secondly, the high degree of regulation in the global biotechnology business means that U.S. firms stand to gain from effective cooperation between regulatory and governmental bodies. Third, the capital intensiveness of the business means that Taiwan's capital resources are a potential asset to U.S. firms. And finally, the pace of technology change and the information intensiveness of the global biotechnology business play to Taiwan's strengths as a leading global player and experienced technology partner to the U.S. This brings us to our second question. Given the fact that the U.S. industry is successfully globalizing and well established, what exactly do U.S. firms stand to gain through a partnership effort with Taiwan firms in an industry which in Taiwan is still in its relative infancy? I think there are three clear indicators to help us answer that question. The first is that the Worldwide Biotechnology Industry Organization, BIO, or Biotechnology Industries Organization, based in Washington, D.C., held in April of last year its first regional Asia-Pacific conference to promote biotechnology cooperation. Biotechnology development has lagged in Asia relative to North America and Europe, but the holding of that conference in April 2000 signals that Asian capabilities have finally come of age. Secondly, the Taiwan government is leading an aggressive effort to help promote and encourage the development of a successful biotechnology industry in Taiwan, and has put real money into backing that effort. It's estimated that the Taiwan government is contributing more than $5 billion to this effort over the next 5 years. And finally, it's precisely because biotechnology is not just an industry sector, it's an industry in creation with broad applications across the board in agricultural, pharmaceutical, industrial process, and environmental applications. There's a clear advantage for U.S. firms to get in early and to interact with Taiwan firms at the earliest stage of their development, to encourage the alignment of Taiwan's capabilities to support the global presence of U.S. firms in the global market. The fundamental purpose of the U.S. Biotechnology Business Summit has therefore been to try to dig through both the hype and the ungrounded skepticism and identify the bedrock reality of existing commercial opportunities for U.S. firms to partner profitably in Taiwan. Now, clearly, A.I.T. would need to rely on experts to do this. Based on the 4 broad areas for collaboration we've previously identified: research, regulatory, governmental, financing, and business operations, we invited experts to sit down together and brainstorm where the real opportunities exist. And equally, we encourage them to talk frankly about problems that need to be solved in order to make collaboration more effective and more meaningful. Put simply then, our purpose has been to align Taiwan's capabilities in their development to support the globalization of the U.S. industry. The US-Taiwan Biotechnology Business Summit is designed as the kickoff event for a 2-year strategic program undertaken in cooperation with the US-Taiwan Business Council. The point of this larger strategic effort is to bring to the United States leading decision makers from Taiwan's public and private sector to interact with the U.S. industry in 4 leading centers of biotechnology excellence on the East and West coasts: the Boston area, Philadelphia and the Mid-Atlantic region, the San Diego, and San Francisco Silicon Valley areas. This year's program, focused on the East Coast, was timed to coincide with the annual conference of the US-Taiwan Business Conference, scheduled for Boston September 17th to 19th. To maximize expert participation in this year's summit event, we partnered with the Ministry of Economic Affairs and with Director General Shi Yanxiang to recruit an influential and high-ranking group of public and private sector decision makers to travel to the United States. To host the event in Philadelphia, we partnered with the University of Pennsylvania, the President's Office of Penn, together with 4 of the schools: the Wharton School, the School of Medicine, the School of Applied Engineering Sciences, and the School of Medicine, all worked together to make the September program a success. Working on the ground for all the arrangements and for the Mid-Atlantic tour that followed the summit on September 11th, we thank the support of the US-Taiwan Business Council and their agent, Golan Harris International. Unfortunately, the tragic events of September 11th led to the cancellation of the annual joint conference of the US-Taiwan Business Council. Because only a limited number of firms could take physical part in the summit, A.I.T. needed a way to capture the findings from this brainstorming session and make them available to the full spectrum of U.S. and Taiwan firms. Our tool to accomplish this has been this Betacam recording of the summit.